Alright, so welcome back to another episode today. Today's kind of going to be a weird one because we're not going to get a lot accomplished, but I'm going to show you around the things that I have gotten accomplished off camera, a couple things of where we're going for the next episode, and we're also trying out a new GoPro I got, so I can see how that makes everything look. Because I'm kind of fighting with this slightly low light situation. Maybe I need to get more light and just blast the Hades out of this place. But anyways, we're going to try out a couple settings and hopefully it'll work pretty decent. Simple radiator cap we can try out. Something like that. That looks like it fits pretty well. That's $2 well spent. Next stop, you've got something like that. Actually, I think I can trim off a bit of this. All right. So we will have that. And that will run a pipe across. Maybe we can put, because there's a little bit of a kink in the one that I'm ordering. It's just like a universal kit, so nothing super special. We'll just janker it around. Yeah, that'll work pretty decent. Could possibly even rotate this guy a little bit, but we're pretty close to good enough. And then of course we got big old Donkinator. Alright, something a little bit like that. That's on our list to modify here. That back firewall needs some massaging help. But, get like a nozzle thing going there. Do our usual spot check. Ooh, we're close. Oh. All right, we still fit. All right, that's a bypass hose. We'll have, probably can't even see it from up here, but that's a heater bypass. So then we don't have to really worry about heater until we're ready to install that, and we can fire it beforehand. So, a radiator cap, those things I'm probably going to have to modify this guy because apparently whatever it was I actually ordered was not the right one. But for how cheap this is, I'm not going to waste my time sending it back and starting over. So I'll just grind to fit. There we go. It's on. I don't think it's going anywhere. All right. Modification is good. So, we are just about finished up here. All right, one last thing I was going to show off before heading on out of here was the surge tank. So, as you can see here, I got the pumps in, everything bracketed together, nothing's moving. We got all of our lines hooked up, taped up, sealed up. So all that I have left to do is just pressure test. So I want to make sure that I got all these little clamps tightened down properly. They should be tightened down properly, but doesn't hurt to check. I'll throw a little bit of gas in the bottom, fire it up with a little battery power there, and we'll pretty much kick it off and see how well it works. Then I've got our gasket, which will then go over here. Probably goes this way. That guy will sit on top there. And this thing right there. And we will be sealed up. We got a little bit of that gas effective gasket dressing gunk, that black stuff. And we can just slap right on here. Help seal that up. And we should be ready to fly. So, that's all set up. And then, on the underside of the car, got this bracket. We'll hook that right onto here. This will bolt through the floor, right under the driver's seat. And this other side will go and bolt to the bottom of the trunk area. So, that will hold that up. It won't go anywhere. Then we'll be set on that front. Then I'll have to get about a foot or so of this big hose. I want to get a shut-off valve, so that way I can shut off the main tank that's above it and drain this if I need to replace pumps or whatever. That way it won't bathe in gas, and we will be on our way. All right, and since it is Friday today, this is our last shipment for the week. So unfortunately, I didn't get my other pieces that I ordered. Some of the stuff that I got, which will barely fit here, will be tight fit. But we'll get the radiator hoses in, then we can finish buttoning that piece up. Then we'll have fully enclosed coolant system. That will be nice. Think off camera, I need to pull this radiator still and grind down some of my bracket because it's just a little too close for my liking, and we don't need a piece of stainless eating its way through an aluminum radiator. So that's going to be fun. I think we'll just have to only unbolt this, then we can just pull the whole radiator out. Should be pretty easy. We are sitting pretty good. All right, so before I go, I want to check out a couple abilities of these different cameras. For some of this episode, you probably have seen it side by side or switch back and forth just for fun. Now if you can hear that tapping, the GoPro is attached onto something that's not very rigid. So right now it's kind of bouncing, but if we just crank this thing around, see how its bounce capability is, and then I just want to see how it does in low light. So I have the worst time with low light, especially when you come into a cage like this, trying to throw something off, or trying to see what we're doing on the end of the turbo. Just kind of get a good feel for everything. And if you're wondering, the GoPro is running like 2.5K, not full 4K, because 4K only allows you to go widescreen. So with a 2.5, I can go with a narrow view, which is very similar to the other video camera. But for action runs, we can probably step up to the 4K. I just kind of want to see if there's any quality difference in there. All right, so that brings us to the end. We're kind of here, so we'll probably switch back and forth a couple times, show you what the sound is, kind of sounds like with the GoPro versus the current camera, which, what is that? It's a Panasonic, I think? Yeah, it's a Panasonic VX981. So essentially both of these cameras should be in the general vicinity of about the same price, in that $400 to $500 range, depending on what you can find. I did get the GoPro with the trade-in program. So I had this old 2000 maybe? Almost 19. But it was a really old, barely 2 megapixel camera that I had at work. It had a 8 megabyte compact flash card. So I threw that in for the trade up, got the $100 credit. So that was a win on that aspect, because what are you going to do with 2 megapixels in an 8 megabyte card? So it's currently got a 128 gigabyte, so that should last for quite a few minutes of road tripping or running a couple laps of a racetrack or something. Kind of getting a few more things in my arsenal for further action videos, because I've kind of found that the stationary camcorder just does not do action all that well. So we'll do that, and then what I want to also see is if there's any difference in the GoPro between running at this 2.5K versus switching to just standard 1080. So I'm going to go switch that real quick. Looks like it's probably been crooked this entire time, but anyways, this is 1080p. So 1080p, 60 frames. And then let's switch it back and do the same thing. And then now we're back 2.5, 2.7K, whatever you want to call it, 1440. All right, so hopefully that's enough to figure out the differences there. I don't know what it's going to look like until I throw it on the computer and get it rendering, but we'll see if it works. What I'm kind of aiming for is at least even with the camcorder, and if it records better, then more power to it. But it's kind of nicer to have something that you can use 2 cameras and flow together with the same resolution, so it doesn't seem like you're jumping from a potato and a cucumber. So So anyways, thanks again for watching. Next time we'll get a little more stuff going on the Crossfire. Not sure if I'm gonna have another video out Monday, since, I don't know, I'm gonna have to tackle something with the house. So we might do a quick 5-minute video showing that funky corner. And then I gotta get to work to race this winter because it got cold really fast here. We've already got a couple snowfalls, which is kind of interesting for this time of year, but should heat up again because it is Nebraska. So either way, I will see you again later.